Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Nike Magista Obra in the latest metal flash pack colorway. Now inside the box they do include a string bag to go along with the shoes themselves. The string bag is black in color with black strings. You're going to find a green glow colored Nike swoosh on one side and your Nike football branding in green glow as well. Other than that, all you're going to find inside the box, as you guys can see, are the shoes themselves. So we'll get these guys out of the box really quickly and we'll take a closer look at what I think is a really good looking colorway of the Magista Obra, especially if you're a fan of purple. So here they are guys, the metal flash pack Magista Obra. In today's video we're going to be taking a detailed look at the colorway itself, talking about tech specs, going over the performance features, as well as taking a look at how these things fit and feel on feet. So if you're interested in learning more about the metal flash pack Obra, please stick around and watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you'll find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick this up below its normal $275 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway. Now the main shade of purple that you're going to find across the entire upper is what they call Hyper Grape with Fierce Purple as an accent. That's the darker purple you see here in the heel counter as well as at the top of the collar. But this Hyper Grape color, really bright, really vibrant purple. It looks very good on this shoe. So you see that in the laces, the exposed Flyknit. It actually does have a clear Nike skin layer, so the purple you're seeing under the Nike skin is actually the Flyknit upper. Then you have the solid Nike skin going around the outside rim of the shoe that pretty closely matches the purple Flyknit color, but nonetheless really nice. You can see that within the actual Flyknit pattern you have two different accent colors. You have green glow on the lateral side of the shoe that eventually fades into Volt Yellow, and the two colors blend in really well and I think accent nicely with the Hyper Grape purple background. And then of course the medial side, as you guys can see, the design is all neon yellow, or I should say Volt Yellow in color. The Nike swoosh, which is kind of a signature of this entire pack from Nike, is that kind of shiny metallic silver with the black outline. You have that on both sides of the shoe. Like I mentioned earlier, the top rim here on the actual collar is that Fierce Purple, which is kind of like a just darker, almost brownish shade of purple, if that makes any sense. You have your green glow Magista branding going down the back of the collar. You have that Fierce Purple in the exposed parts of the sole plate that you can see from this angle. And then at the bottom, you have more of that green glow as well as some Volt Yellow as accents once again. So that's pretty much it as far as the colorway is concerned. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, the Obra is a very good shoe. A lot of people like to ask me what is my personal favorite mid-cut model from Nike, and of the three, I definitely will say that I do prefer the Obra. With that being said, if you guys are looking for as much detailed information as possible, you can of course check out the detailed written review on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. You can also check out my playtest video of the Magista Obra, of which I'll leave an annotation to on screen. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't seen it already. So what you need to know about the Obra as far as tech specs and performance is concerned, obviously it features a one-piece Flyknit upper with a mid-cut design. So the Flyknit itself, in comparison to the other full Flyknit model from Nike, the Superfly 4, is more dense and just thicker in general. It's still on the thinner side. I wouldn't call this a bulky or padded shoe by any means, but in comparison to the Superfly, it definitely will have more of a padded touch on the ball. So you have a very structured Flyknit pattern, which you can clearly see because this one does have the clear Nike skin covering. That has a couple different elements to it. Internally, there's a padded liner that acts as reinforcement and also just makes the shoe feel very comfortable against your foot. Obviously, the actual material itself is soft and flexible. I would say a lot softer out of the box than what you're going to find with the Superfly, but once both of those shoes are broken in, you should be able to achieve what Nike would describe, what I would even describe as kind of a sock-like sensation in terms of how the shoe fits and feels and just moves with your foot. Worked in with the actual Flyknit construction are Brio cables that you can't really see because it's within the pattern, but running through these lines here that line up with the lace holes, as you'll notice, there are actual cables in there. So when you pull the laces tight, just like the Superfly, these cables run from the base of the sole into the laces, locking your foot in place and just preventing it from sliding side to side. So despite the upper being very soft, very flexible, and very sock-like in terms of just how it moves, the shoe is very, very responsive as well. Laces, as you guys can see, are slightly off-centered. They kind of run through the middle, but are pushed slightly to the medial side, kind of reminiscent of what we've seen before from the CTR 360 line, which the Magista has pretty much just replaced. You have your Nike skin layer on top. That does have some texturing to it just due to the actual pattern of the Flyknit upper, but doesn't really add much in terms of extra grip on the ball. It's more of a protective layer and just to prevent anything from being overly slick as far as touch is concerned, just because the knitted material alone I think would be pretty slippery on the ball. And then of course you do have ACC all conditions control. The branding's kind of hard to see. It's black on dark purple, but it is there acting as your wet control element. Not a make or break feature, but something you do get on all the top end models from Nike. Now moving on to the back of the shoe, you have an external heel counter, which we'll talk about more in just a second. The collar itself, that's made from an elasticated Flyknit, not structured like the rest of the upper. Same thing goes for the top of the foot area here. The collar itself, unlike what a lot of people think, doesn't offer any support, doesn't really offer any performance benefit at all. It's there to provide a certain look, which obviously is very, very unique, being that the shoe is mid-cut, not the norm for a soccer cleat. And of course, it gives the shoe a different feel. It feels like the shoe is kind of flowing onto your foot as opposed to something that's strapped to your foot. It does change the way the shoe fits and feels, especially in the heel area, so that will take some getting used to. But like I said, once broken in, you will be able to achieve a comfortable fit from this particular shoe with its mid-cut design. Inside the shoe, the heel liner is a smooth synthetic leather with minimal amounts of padding, but again, once they're broken in, you shouldn't have too many issues. Insole, fully removable. I'll give you guys a quick look at that. Mesh liner on top, perforations throughout, and it's just made from a single layer of this yellow foam. Pretty straightforward. And then moving on to the sole plate, again, you do have the heel counter one piece attached to the sole plate, and the sole plate itself is made from a compressed nylon material. It is on the stiffer side, but nothing too crazy. It does soften up significantly after some wear time, so if you find them stiff for the first couple of wears, that's relatively normal and it will change over time. And then of course the stud pattern, very reminiscent to what you're going to find from the Tiempo line, just minus the bladed studs in the heel. You can see all the studs are conical in shape. And while it does look relatively traditional, because the studs themselves are fairly long and fairly narrow in profile, they still dig into the ground quite nicely and provide relatively aggressive traction. So on firm natural grass, you're unlikely to have any issues when it comes to traction with the Magista line. It's something that I don't have any issues with, and really I've never seen too many complaints about at all. It performs the part, and that's really all you need to know. So that's pretty much it as far as performance is concerned. Again, very, very capable shoe, and if everything I said sounds good to you, the Magista Obra is likely a shoe that you will very much enjoy. As far as weight is concerned, the Magista Obra is actually very, very light, actually quite similar to the Superfly 4. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time using the scale. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9.5 US. We're going to throw them on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 7.2 ounces, the equivalent of 204 grams. So like I mentioned, they're pretty much on par with the Superfly 4. Superfly is ever so slightly lighter, but the weight difference is extremely minimal, to the point where you won't notice a difference in weight either in hand or on feet. So if you're trying to decide between the Superfly 4 and the Magista Obra, while the Superfly 4 might look lighter, might look more streamlined, it definitely has a different fit and feel, but the actual weight of the shoe pretty much isn't any different, at least to the point where it would actually be noticeable when you're wearing the shoes. So weight should not be the deciding factor, but all in all, for a shoe that provides the type of feel that the Magista Obra does, it is surprisingly lightweight. All right, so here is a look at the Obras on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock laces that come with the shoes. On my right foot, I have a pair of neon yellow with black dots premium SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, be sure to check out the website www.sr4ulaces.com. Find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, the Obra is a fairly comfortable shoe out of the box. All the mid-cut models from Nike take some getting used to, which is why I can't say it's one of those shoes that requires no break-in time, because the way these things fit in the heel area, it can feel very stiff at first depending on how well they fit you or just what your tolerances are for just general comfort with a soccer cleat. But as long as you take things slowly with the break-in process, as far as just wearing them around the house, wearing them through some light training sessions, and not going straight into a free kick session or straight into a game, you shouldn't really have any issues. After a couple hours of wear time, you should be pretty much good to go to wear these in a game without any issues at all. So again, with the break-in process, with any shoe really, just take things slowly until they feel absolutely perfect on your feet, and then that's when you can kind of go all out, wear them in a game, and pretty much do whatever you want in them. As far as the overall feel is concerned, the upper is very soft, it's very flexible, the padding on the inside feels great against your foot. It does have that general sock-like sensation, I would say slightly more so than the Superfly 4, just because it is a little bit more padded. The shoe is nice and flexible as well, which I personally really like. And again, it's a generally comfortable shoe once they are broken in, and as long as you get the proper fit. Width-wise, they're going to be suitable for most people. It's not a narrow shoe by any means, but they're not super wide either. And also, just like the other Flyknit models from Nike, they're not really going to stretch. The way they fit from out of the box is the way they're going to fit for their entire lifespan. And as far as sizing is concerned, they run about a half size small. So instead of wearing my usual size 9 US, I bumped it up to a 9.5, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going a half size up in order to achieve the best possible fit. All right guys, that's it for my review of the Nike Metal Flash Pack Magista Obra. If you guys are interested in more info on this shoe, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you'll find the written review. You'll find high quality images of this exact pair that I took myself, as well as buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $275 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding the Obra, leave them down below in the comments, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, thanks for watching.